Hey guys, Mtashed here, and Suros regime is back in Destiny 2, more red, white, and blue than ever. And today I wanted to talk about the weapon. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's just jump right into this bad boy. So, one of the big perks on it, not hand blade stock, but spinning up allows you to hold the trigger and increase the fire rate of the weapon. Or you can use dual speed receiver, and when aiming down sights, it actually slows down the weapon's fire, but increases the damage, almost like a fast-firing scout rifle. So you have the choice between the two, and I would always go with spinning up. I'll get into it in a minute, why, but just bear with me. Suros Legacy is also a pretty cool perk. Half of the magazine is going to deal bonus damage. It's not a crazy amount, but it might get you a kill here and there. But it also has the chance of returning health on kill. Now, it's not guaranteed, but that health on kill can be pretty huge, especially in something like Rumble. Now, with that being said, it is random, and there's going to be situations where you go 10 duels in a row and you don't get your health back like this, or you could get it back 10 times in a row and you're feeling really good about it because after every kill, you've got full HP. It's a nice perk to have, but it isn't the end-all, be-all. There's better things such as Devour on the Voidwalker, or if you truly want that health back every time, use the Crimson Hand Cannon. This is kind of like a stacked on little bonus, and it's great when it works, but if you're relying on that health coming back, there are going to be situations where you're disappointed. There's going to be situations where it saves your life, but you can't rely on this health regen. So that's all I'm going to really say about it. When it works, you're happy, you're great, but personally, if I was playing with this thing, I wouldn't rely on it and view it as the biggest or best part of this gun overall. When I look at this gun, I really just view it as an overall solid weapon. Much like any auto rifle, it's not going to be the best up close. I would rather have an SMG than an auto rifle. Mid-range, probably I'd rather have a pulse. Long range, I'd rather have a scout. But if you want a kind of all-around decent weapon, Suros Regime, in my opinion, is one of those weapons that you can do pretty well with. It brings quite a bit to the table, and I was happy with its performance. I mean, you guys can see here that it's doing pretty damn good in these duels. Is it the best? Is it god tier? Is it amazing? Am I going to be freaking out about Suros Regime? Probably not. But for right now, I think that it does have a place, especially when things line up and you get that health regen. If you're landing your crits, the time to kill on this thing is pretty solid, and I was out dueling quite a few people in a row. The only issue is maybe they're potatoes. Maybe I could have done this with every gun. It's really hard to say. Unless I play with this long term and I go up against some of the best in the world, it's really tough to see how this is going to play out. I played with it for quite a few games, and I did feel like I was consistently doing well with it, but I also thought, there's a lot of situations where if I had just a anti-OP SMG or whatever, I'd be doing just as good, if not better. So that's what I'm going to say about this bad boy. Can it duel? Yes. Can it heal you? Yes. Is it the best gun in the game? Not really, but it's not terrible. It's kind of a mid-range thing. It's an all-arounder. And if you feel comfortable with this weapon, I think that you're going to have a good time with it. I think pretty much anyone in the game, any skill level, can pick up the Suros and do well with it. And I think it's going to be a, semi-popular gun. I don't think people are going to be running this thing because as an exotic, I don't think it's amazing. And, there are legendaries that are just as good, if not better. Do they have all the bells and whistles like spin up and health regen? No, not really. Is half the magazine going to do bonus damage? No, it won't. But it's only like 1 damage difference. The heal isn't even an instant heal like a Devour. So it's just kind of, as I said, mid-range. It's a mid-range baby boy. As for PvE with this thing, with the spin-up perk, because I'm kind of trying to focus on the spin-up perk, it's fine. But as an exotic, you guys know, if I'm picking an exotic, it's got to be really good. It's got to be really strong. If I'm going to be trying to do optimal DPS on a raid boss, I'm going to be taking something like the Sweet Business and Actium War Rig over this thing. If I'm trying to do some nice burst damage on a strike boss, I'm probably going to go with the Merciless Fusion Rifle over this, because I could pick up any auto rifle and do similar damage. This thing is not going to be amazing. This thing is not going to be a top-tier PvE weapon or PvP weapon. As I said, it's a mid-range weapon at everything. It's just kind of there. It'll do what you need to do. It'll kill things, but you're not going to be freaking out about Suros Regime. Back in the day, people freaked out about Suros regime. It was used everywhere. People were like, oh my god, Suros is so sick. But that's because not only was it easy to use, but it was also pretty damn good at dueling. This one's good. You can see me killing people, but it's not the best. And in Destiny 1, Suros was a gun that everyone was running. And yes, there were the exotic hand cannons that were really good, but if you took the average player, if you looked at 10 people's loadouts, I would bet that over 5 of them would have Suros equipped. Until maybe they got Thorn, then things started to switch. But I'd say early on Destiny, Suros was like the gun for a lot of people. And then it faded out as people started realizing how good things like Thorn and Hawkmoon and Last Word were. But, I mean, for the first little while, before the first nerf to auto rifles, Suros was the big poobah. And in Destiny 2, it does not live up to its name, I wouldn't say. I think that it's probably better in Destiny 2 right now than it was at the end of Destiny 1. But that's not saying much, because, I mean, it was pretty shitty. It's pretty shitty. So now let's switch gears and talk about the dual speed receiver, which is the slower fire rate, but more damage. It still gets the heal after a kill. It still does bonus damage as you lose ammo in the magazine. Is it any good? I think I'm gonna throw up. This thing is terrible. It was terrible. And someone's gonna come into the chat, oh, actually, I think it's pretty good. No. I would not recommend this to anyone. I mean, you can like it, okay? But you're wrong. No, I'm serious. For me, this is a no, dog. This is a no. I thought this is one of the worst weapons I've ever used. In Destiny 2, this thing was terrible. It does 20 damage to the body, 25 to the head, and it ramps up a little bit. You get to like 26, 27 as you start losing ammo in that magazine. But my SMG can do that much damage. You know, why would I use this gun when I could just use like anti-OP? I mean, I guess it's a little bit weaker on anti-OP, but it shoots like twice as fast. This thing feels like a fast-firing scout rifle with half the damage. It just doesn't work for me. Maybe if it did like 30 damage, maybe even 33 damage to the head, I would feel more comfortable. But this thing, no. It is awful. And I know I'm being tough on it, but it's an exotic. It's Suros regime. I'm shooting slower. I should be doing a chunk damage to that head. If I'm landing my shots on you, I should be melting your freaking head off. I'm the Suros, baby! But instead, I feel like a baby wielding a Suros. I feel like a child with no thumbs trying to kill you, and I'm just like... You guys have been noticing that I'm making a lot of weird noises lately. It's just, I get riled up when I talk about these exotics. I expect more out of them, and then when I pick up the Suros, it's just so average. And I know that I could maybe land a couple more crits here and there. Maybe my aim is off a bit. But I don't think that the slower rate of fire is worth it. Because I picked up the faster rate of fire, and I felt pretty good about it. I felt pretty confident. I was like, yeah, this could work. But as soon as I switched it out, as soon as I went to the slow firing, I did not feel comfortable. I did not feel like I was going to win my engagements pretty much ever. And unless I caught a guy off guard, I felt like I was going to lose that duel almost every time, especially against hunters. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because of the higher mobility, but I felt like I had this sluggish banana shooter. I did not feel like I was doing enough damage per shot. I felt like I was missing shots when they were strafing. And, you know, if I was using a scout rifle, at least I could time the trigger pull and land that shot. With the Suros regime, it kind of feels like a scout rifle, but you're auto-firing. And I know that that's cool for some people, but for me, I almost felt like I was missing shots because I was holding down the trigger. Because it's an auto rifle, I just expected I should just hold down that trigger, and it actually made it feel maybe worse. But that's partly a preference thing. Many of you guys that have watched my Graviton Lance review, you know that I'm a very preference person. Even though Graviton Lance is good, I don't like the weapon. Same thing goes with this. You might find that it's amazing to you, but for me, it's god-awful. It just does not hit the mark. That being said, there are 2 fire rates. One of them, the slow firing, that I did not like, and one of them, the faster firing, which I thought was actually pretty solid. Is it the best? No. But if you're looking for an all-around, decent, exotic to run around in PvP, PvE, you can use this thing. It's not going to blow you away. I really don't think it's going to blow anyone away. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, Suros is my favorite gun. It just doesn't have that kind of draw that it did in the first game, but it's not dog shit. It's not terrible. Unless you're using slow fire rate. Then you need to just dismantle that piece of garbage. But that's it from me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.